Okay, I haven't done any videos in a while because I've been a lazy little bastard. I haven't felt like doing anything. But I have some lost items from AliExpress, and I suspect that any of the last few items I still have from them are going to be severely delayed because of Canada Post. But this is mailbag number 13. So our first little thing was a very old item that took it forever to come here, but diodes. I wanted a bunch of different diodes of different sizes. You know, some with high current drain, you know the usual shit. And that's what I have right here. So that was a very unimposing bag. So shove the bag into the Amazon box. Now here, yes, I cut them all open because I'm too eager to look at them at work. So I don't need the bag. Ooh, 2 for 2. Nope, missed on the third one. So this is the driver board for a monitor that blew because someone screwed the screws in too much. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. I haven't been too successful with some of these guys. But it's supposed to be the exact same model of driver board, so hopefully it'll work. Okay. Okay, so these guys are little mounting boards for putting a nano on, I believe. So let's open one up. And you know, I forgot my cutting knife again on the other side. Just a sec. Okay. One cutting knife. I know these little static bags did not have the little cut line on them. Oh, that's good. Look at that. I can't even get it open. What a failure. Okay, let's try it a little lower down. Here we go. So, if we have a nano, and I should have some nanos. Here's a nano. And here's this. So the only question is, which direction does it go on? Well, I'm pretty sure it probably goes this way. But there you go. So you put this on. Oh, I hate mailing. Look at that, they bent a pin. Yep, pins, pins, pins. Don't you hate that? They bend pins. They should pack these a little better. And I can't even get at that pin. I think what I'm going to have to do is get out a mechanical pencil that has an end. If you use a mechanical pencil and you put it on the pin, then you can go like this and straighten pins out. You used to have to do it for CPUs all the time. But there you go. So power or power. little reset, and all the usual access to all these pins through here. So that's what these guys are for. And toss them over here. So besides getting bent in the mail, let's try something else. Okay, one skinny little item. Now this guy here is another programming board like this, but in this case I think this one has one extra feature that the other ones don't have. Yeah, okay, so this guy here actually has a DTR pin, meaning that if I program the mini, and I don't have a mini floating around, this one right here, if I was to replace this with this instead, right here on the USB port, I won't have to hit the frickin' reset button right here in order to program it, which is a bonus that this introduces. And it just uses a FT232 basically. It's no different than any of these guys here, just a different chip, but same idea. And it has a little voltage selector too. I don't know why there's always so scraps, pieces of plastic and other things in here. There we go. Sharp knives for the win. Yeah, pretty slick. Look at all the residue they leave on this thing here. You can see all this. They don't clean their circuit boards. That's what that stuff is. I might have to invest in some circuit board cleaning stuff. But that's what that is. Okay, what do we got here? Another bag. Ooh, good shot. I saw these. It's it's a ruler with a whole bunch of common component sizes laid out on it. I mean, I could be really bored and actually, for all this SMT stuff, I could actually solder it on it, but I'm not that good at that. So, I got 4 of them. One's over there. I was using it already. But it's handy to have a little ruler around here. Right, a straight edge, a measuring device, whatever. You know, you want to know how this, well, guess what? 5.5 centimeters. And of course, this end is that awful, evil imperial side from the United States. The slackers down there that can't even adopt the metric system. One of the last 2 countries, Singapore and them, that can't do it. Even though their own weight system is based off the kilogram reference mass that they have. They have 2 of them. And they use that to determine their pound in weight. Now remember, boys and girls, kilograms are not weight. They're mass. If you want to measure weight in the metric system, it's newtons. Force equals mass times acceleration. If you don't understand all that, Google it. Okay, we have a rather fat one here. Got the little tapey right there. What have we got in here? Actually, I'm not quite sure what's in this one. Okay, more tape. Wow. Look at that, even instructions. So let's take out the paper, but not the parts. Shake, 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 shake. And see what we have here. I think this is a really nice power supply, but I'm not 100% sure. What have we got? Yada, 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 yada. But as you can see from LM317, let me zoom the table in a little bit. I have to find the right zoom tool. So I will go to Video for Linux here, and I will go to Camera Controls. I'll take the autofocus off, and I'll change this to 150 units. 65. Yeah, that should do it. Let's see if I can do it a little more. No, it's about the max of the thing. Okay. So we can see lots of LM and 78XX, 79XX, blah, 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 blah. Here, 2.5 volts. So this is a power supply. Now, I don't know if they have the English side, and obviously they don't. Everything is in untranslated. But I should be able to put this together. These are really big caps here too. Look at these things. Big heat sinks, 2 of them. So I suspect what we're going to have here is plus and minus output voltage. So they accept from 5 to 38, probably DC, and 5 to 3 to 27 AC or something like that. So you can send both into here. And then we probably have a 79 something here and a 78 something here. Probably the variable one where you're going to have multiple adjustable voltages. Let's see. Input, regulators. Do we have adjusters? Yes, we do. Right here. So these guys right here adjust. This ought to be an interesting build. Slightly different than doing this guy here. Oh, if you're wondering, the blue is just holding parts in place till I get around to soldering it. So that's another kit. So all these parts here. Wow, we're 2 for 3. Now the last item I have, I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way for a sec. And this is not quite electronics, but I don't know if you're aware, I do have a large Dungeons and Dragons role-playing paper, not the electronic, and I picked up this. Now this was the artwork. It's like to celebrate, I don't know how many years of D&D. Oh, and there's something else about this too. Just a sec. I'll be right back. So, if you will open it up carefully. So we have this big art book right here, and we have some classic stuff from D&D. I'm just going to make sure my little sticky thing here doesn't stick on things. I don't want to tear the posters that are in here. I was thinking of getting some of these actually put into frames, what they provide. So, this guy here, it looks like it is the original printout and artwork for Tomb of Horrors. And if you don't know this module, this is a notorious killer module. I remember running a group through here, and they didn't survive past the entrance. I won't tell you what killed them because that would give it away. But yeah, they pulled a boner maneuver and killed themselves. Great suicide. But it's kind of cool. It's all the handwritten stuff. There's actually an extra module in here too here. I remember that one. And I remember that one too. A lot of these pictures represent the traps in the rooms. Oh yeah, that guy there. Let's just say this was at the entrance of the dungeon. So this was that. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they came up with a bunch of artwork. And what else we got? So they label on the backs here, interior painting from Storm King's Thunder 2016. And this one here is exterior painting of Dungeon Master Screen 1979. Now this is 1979, so this is before any sort of D&D on the computer or anything like that. So this one here is the Fiend Folio. Really what it was monsters from England. So this was on the cover of the Fiend Folio. This is what, and of course you'd see all the logos and, you know, Wizards of the Coast and blah 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 blah. Actually at the time, TSR. And this one here is promotional painting for Dungeons & Dragons 30th anniversary. So, quite the change in artwork. Looks like a good brawl. And then we got cover painting for Player's Handbook 1978. Yep. What thieves, hey? Plucking the guy's eyeballs out. Man. Dragging the lizards off here for after killing them all. See? Then we have cover painting for the Forge of Fury. That came out quite later. I always like this artwork. Whoever this does this one, it's really nice. Todd Lockweed. Okay, so we have interior printing from second edition's Player's Handbook, 1989. Doesn't that look so Dragonlance-y? Yeah. The artwork is so reminiscent of Dragonlance. Cover painting for Swords of Deceit, 1986. Now, these are a set of guys you don't want to meet. They probably beat the crap out of you. Liches. But they could have a good haul of treasure. Okay, so we have here cover painting for World of Greyhawk, 1983. This was like their first real big encompassing world environment to do gaming in. And then we got last one here, cover painting for the Keep on the Borderlands, B2. This is like the most famous. Literally the module of the modules. This was like the really first big module that they came out with. This is before this guy here and the tournaments, right? Modules. So, no, B2, the Caves of Chaos, and then B1, the Borderlands. Then that turned into a whole series of D3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I've got some of it in paper, and I've got a bulk of it in PDF form. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Where their headquarters was, they actually maintained, when TSR was there, they maintained a library that people could come and sign out stuff out of the library. So some of these scanned in PDFs I have are from that library. So I'll skim through some of this. Some of the advertisement, man. Yes, old farts playing. So this is the one part I want to show off. This was the original first rule set in a box. And can you guess? I actually have it. Now, I can't remember. The only thing missing from my set when I got it, I mean, everything else in it is pristine. So you can... So we've got advertisements for the Dragon magazine. And then we've got reference sheets. Right? And then the 3 books that they show right here. So, there you go. Ah, got order. There we go. Green, red, blue. So the missing item out of my box is the original dice. I didn't get this. But I got lucky at a used bookstore one time, and I found this whole box for $20 at the time. The lady who ran the bookstore had no clue what she actually had. Because even back then when I bought this, it was probably late 80s or so. This was worth a lot. Not too many of these things were... And you can see the box is pretty good. I mean, there's a little stuff, but... And then the original magazine and the group. The house. I can't remember why there's a Strange Tales comic book on here. That's kind of weird. Oh, I see what they've done. Driving the artwork. So what did they want for this way back then? Look at this. $3. 36 pages, $3. And then this thing whole, the box set at the time, $10 postpaid. So this is, of course, S3, the Tomb of Horrors. And you can see how this is the old artwork for it. These pages, and these are the newer, revamped versions. So later they reprinted, of course, several times the S modules, but they cleaned up the artwork, they tightened up some of the stuff in it, and then later it became a super module. I've got that one. It's like a really fat thing. It's for doing all the S's in a row. So yeah, this is what I was basically missing out of my box set, was the dice. Now I don't have things like this, the later supplements, pocketbooks. Right, so like this and this box set. I think this is the newer one. So you can see that it's the same idea as this box, but different cover and stuff like that, and a different layout. So this one is the original one, and that's the revamped one that came out a little later. But then they went, so you can see mine. They started putting out more of this. Also, they got in trouble a little bit. Can you guess why? Yes. Oops. People of Puritan nature didn't like the nudity. So here's some of the artwork from the Dragon covers. So like number 52. I have almost all the Dragon magazines. I'm only, out of all the ones before they stopped printing, I believe I'm only missing about 50. And those are all early. Like trying to get a Dragon number 1 or something like that is very hard. But I remember this. This is off a module. Doesn't this just remind you of EverQuest? And this is like, reminds me of Forgotten Realms. And I remember this painting. See, it used to be on a box set. And then this one, Monster Manual. So this here is when they actually produced. I'm just surprised they don't have in the fold-out artwork the Dungeon Master's artwork. They have this one here, the Player's Manual, and they have the Monster Manual here in the book. But they didn't have this one. I was kind of surprised. Maybe they lost the artwork. Yeah, there's original things. So the G1 mod, G1, G2, G3, D1, D2, D3, and then the S modules, and Village of Hamlet that would led to the Tomb of Horrors. This one here. But they turned all this right into a super module with T1. So when you could get T1, which would lead to the Giants, which led to the was it Slavers, the Giants, and then the Drow, and the Queen, something like that. It was pretty. If you were trying to play it, it'd be like a year or more of time. Then we started getting artwork like this. Yeah, see, there's another naughty. And then the big D&D scare. Oh no! Our students are playing Dungeons and Dragons in the steam tunnels. Yeah, okay. I remember these. I still have some of these blank characters sheets. I remember this type of artwork. This is cool. And then we have here the official maps. Actually, when they actually box set the Greyhawk and redid it all, we ended up with really nice maps and stuff like that. Oh yes, our nasty little Loth. There we go. B2. Keep on the Borderlands. Caves of Chaos. So this was one of the first official really big modules that came out. And actually it's a pretty fun module to play. Then you have the... More people know of S1, S2, S3. So Expedition to the Barrier Keeps, Tomb of Horrors, right? But not many people played the Lost Caverns and stuff. So at least I never did. See, you can see how the bees are going up. Then they introduced this one too, Ravenloft. There's the draw modules. See, there's S1. See, all the modules for the giants joined together. There's our Fiend Folio, stuff from England. I never played the Axes. Miniatures. So miniatures started becoming a thing. Oh, yes. I never had this game, but I heard of it. At this time, I never even knew about D&D when it has come out. I only picked up D&D way, way, way later in the 90s. So, second edition. Then what they did with a lot of the second edition stuff too is they redid the modules, like the rules for the module in second edition format. And they started selling miniatures. Although other companies came up and just swamped them with a lot more that specialized just in miniatures. Ah, yes, the cartoon. This. Saturday morning cartoons. And then we have Monster Manual 2. If you can't guess what this is, you haven't played D&D enough. Bugbear. You. No, that's not. It's what was it called again? Ogre. Then it came along Dragonlance and all the books. Completely different way of doing things. This is one, if you played this, Dragonlance, you had to watch out for your alignment because they monitored it all. And you can go naughty pretty fast if you're not careful. I remember these. I have all of them. All those books. This too. This is like the dawn of every supplement under the sun type of Now, I remember I told you about they joined everything together. Well, this is the start of it right here. Temple Elemental Evil. So, this did them all. It was a big joining. You started out in Homelet, you moved off. I remember the Manual of the Plains. I have that too. And then along comes Ed Greenwood and Forgotten Realms. Books. Actually, they're pretty good reading, this set. What else we got here? I thought this was always so humorous. But it got them in trouble too, because, you know... And then someone wanted, I guess, really big dungeons. The Drizzt stuff. This is the games I started out on. The gold box games from SSI. Right? Code wheel to get into the game. Which, by the way, all you had to do is change. If you knew where it was, you could just change one byte and you could avoid the code wheel at all. Code wheel did two things actually in the game. Besides being the copy protection scheme for the game, they actually used it also in the game to translate. And I remember doodling out all the dungeons on grid paper and finding out that 4-quad or 5-quad grid paper was too big and had to go to like 10-quad because some of the dungeons, the corridors are real long. So this is... So this is more second edition stuff. This actually was more of a reprint. You can almost call it repaired version of second edition, where they updated a bunch of stuff, and then they started putting out all the monster manuals as loose leaf sheets, and you could put in a binder, which is kind of interesting. Then they still came out with these too, all these little handbooks. And then they tried space. As far as I know, it didn't really catch on. Back to Ravenloft. They tried this one too. That one never caught on. Hollow World. It was an attempt at another, besides Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk, but it didn't really catch on. Then there was Dark Sun. This campaign setting took away most metals from things. So having a sword made of iron was considered immensely powerful. Mostly your stuff would tend to be made of bone or rock and stuff like that. It was really, really weird. I remember a little bit about the Conan dip, but not much. Then they went back a little bit to Forgotten Realms, but a little bit weird. This gave it a Middle East type feel to the game. And this is all before everyone was beating everyone up for religious needs and or ISIS and all that other stupid crap. So more... And then these books started getting really popular right here. R.A. Salvatore really wrote some really good stuff. Gen Cons. Foreign country thing. And this is... I haven't read this section yet. But it's about right. It's when TSR fell apart, basically. So these are another set of revised second editions, an attempt to get more people into the game, new look and feel to things, but it wasn't enough. And they tried to put out a lot of stuff. I think they went overboard. It became a rule haven. Like there's too many rules. And this came around. Birthright. This was a cool tool. What they did is they put all the second edition rules basically into a computer program that could generate the characters. Planescape was I never played it much, but I did play the games, the computer games, Baldur's Gate, Icewind. White Plume Mountain. Still very, very popular. So this is when we got 3rd edition rules. A lot of work, a lot of revamping. Like, I mean, if you played 2nd edition and then you play 3rd edition, there's a lot of differences. This actually made things easier in some sense, but it also introduced more handbooks and still more handbooks. But a lot of the modules were then converted to 3rd edition. Now this here looks like the revamped character game running software. This is like circa 2000. Now I happen to have the limited edition 3.5 edition of the Player's Handbook in a leather-bound thing. The artwork is really getting nice now. More time spent on it and stuff. Size chart, to give you an idea. And of course, the Puritans were whiny again about that. I didn't see this actually. I know Calamar. That was an attempt at another world. This is a redone of Arcane Unearthed. And I didn't realize they actually did a Dragon's Warcraft. That's new to me. The boxed game. Modules redone. Some of the redone. What else do we got in here? This cartoon right down here kind of reminds me of The Simpsons. I think that's where it came from. No, Futurama. Everyone remembers this game. You didn't play it? Where were you? Mirror image. So version 3.5. This is where they started doing more definite rules on miniatures and stuff like that. And actually, the mix was really good. If you had a few pieces, it made playing the game really fun. Let's see, what do we have here? So, D&D Online. Again, Eberron was another world they started. This I consider. I looked at the 4th edition and tried some of it, and I think it was stupidly done. It was bad. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it was a bad layout. 3.5 was a lot more funner than 4th was. 4th had some very stupid things in it. I don't even remember seeing this. D&D Insider. Interesting. I don't remember this either. So what do we have? I have none of these reprints. Oh, so that's what they are. They're commemorative originals. Reprint, special reprint. I had this box set. And the blue one, the next one that came after it. More box sets. I never got into their box sets. Now, 5th edition I've looked at, and they went back. What they really did with 5th edition is they simplified things dramatically. So instead of having a game that had 10 billion rules, and you spent more time looking rules up than anything else, they made the decisions that needed to be made that weren't in a rule or anything the DM's choice. So they had just a basic set of rules for you to play the game, some guidelines for stuff, and then a good bulk of all those handbooks and everything stuff was up to you. If you wish to write a set of rules for something, you could do this. And this is what 5th edition really did. And it made the game more faster paced, and from what I've heard, it's really nice. Now, I'll call all this stuff too is now under the umbrella of Wizards of the Coast and stuff. So we're about, from what the book says, we're about 2014 now. Yes. Those are always so fun in the computer games when you hit a mimic. Redone artwork for the Sword Coast. Now this is also, we started seeing more of this in the modules. These stacked version, like so. This is a tower, right? And all the way you get into this tower. So instead of seeing one page with this map flat, this is all isometric version. You can tell, see, like this. It was actually pretty cool. Now, I had the Waterdeep box set with the big official maps of the town. Holy moly. Yeah. I never seen this. But this is cool. Oh, yes. Oh, I remember all these parts in it. New advertisement? Wow. Yes, and they start doing this too. This is actually, it's kind of like styrofoam material or whatever, but it's all pre-done and everything. You can just assemble a keep on a table like this. You can see here where you join the pieces all together. Yep, I have a lot of. I also have the very, very rare um, demons and deities and demon gods. I think it was, and it's the one with Cthulhu in it. Before they had to remove it because of tit for tat over the Cthulhu copyright. So the later version of the same book, and I have the later version also, it doesn't have those sections in it. Also, it doesn't have the Grey Mouser. It's missing out of it too. It was another one that had to be pulled. But I think as a book to keep around, I think this is utterly cool. I have to go through the book again and do some more reading. But that's my non-electronic thing. But look how thick this thing is. Oh, you're not sure? Well, let's do this ruler. There you go. This book is like 6 centimeters thick. Quite the book. You're probably asking, what's this worth? On Amazon, shipped by Prime, it cost me about $110. But these are the type of things you go, oh, $110. Oh, these are the type of things when they come out, there'll be a limited run, and that'll be it. And later down the road, when you want one of these things, you're not going to find it. Just like those those reprints of the Player's Handbook and stuff from the representing the 20th anniversary. They'll print a few of them, and that'll be it. Now, Piazzo took the D&D 3.5 stuff way beyond that. They have their own, and it's really called 3.75. But that's still being, and they're actually, from what I read, are working on their idea of D&D 5, a version of their own stuff. But we'll see. But I hope you enjoyed this particular mail call. And had an interesting look at all the pictures.